Well, yes, Cesar will be speaking next on this matter. He's a former vice president of Nigeria Labour Congress. He joins us from our studios in Abuja. Morning, and thank you for joining us today. This is a challenge that we've got, but we did hear Dr. Ikenna talk about the fact that Labour, your constituency, you should have a lot of facts and figures about the actual situation in case some of those states are maybe not painting the true picture, as it were. What is the real situation from your perspective? Okay, well, just give us a minute. Isa, we will adjust the sound quality and then return. We'll do some. But yes, indeed, there's some government of Ogun State and Imo State have been speaking up about their perspective of what the situation is. Ogun and Imo refuting previous statements credited to them, saying that they were owing, saying no, but they've said no, that's not the case, and some other states have also spoken up about that. But we'll get back to Isa in just a moment. So
the perspectives are always quite interesting. You know, in Ogun State, we do know that the workers there had already said that at some point some deductions were being made from their salaries, and that not all of their salaries were being paid. So perhaps that was what some people computed into how Ogun State was owing its workers.
I think the same thing with Imo as well.
In Imo State as well, that could also be the case, because I think some papers had that they were owing as much as 11. So if a part of your salary is being owed, could you also take it as your salary being owed? That's one question. And then you also find out that some state governments differentiate between civil servants and teachers.
We've seen that in Benue.
In some cases, the civil servants have been paid, those who work in the civil service, and the salaries of teachers are still being owed. In that situation, can a state government actually come out and say, I'm not owing anybody, or we're not owing that much? Or, you know, if you're owing, say, the civil servants 2 months and you're owing the teachers 11 months, how many months then do we say you're owing workers in your state, for instance? So there are some questions, and I think that each state government will have a perspective in terms of how they're trying to solve their problem. They're going to be paying part salary, or, you know, just hold everything and see what it is that they can do. If you cannot pay all, then we won't pay any at all. Or how are they going to manage? What are they saying? How did they get into this quagmire in the very first instance?
And I think in some other states too, local governments are having a lot of challenge. And it behoves on some of those states to also speak up and let people know the true situation of things, because the local government is one, the states, and then the teachers, many of whom have been on strike, schools, students, not going on at the moment. Some say it's for the third term this time, and so you wonder, the first, second, the third term, you lost a session. All
one whole year.
It's a more serious challenge we've got on our hands here. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go away. Let's get back to Isa Aremu from Abuja. Isa, yes, go ahead and bring us up to speed, because with Labour, they work with different states and different sectors, actually, so they should have the benefit of the facts and figures. Tell us about it.
Well, I think, Chamberlain, we need to put the issues in perspective, you know. It's extremely very, very important. The payment of salaries of working people, the constitutional issue, it's a legal issue, as well as economic issue. And the Constitution of Nigeria is very clear. 1999 Constitution, with all its limitations, that's the dignity of labor. As a matter of fact, Section 16 and 17 of the Constitution, under the, Chapter 2, dealing with fundamental principles of state policy, and the need, you know, for adequate payment of living wages of the working people. And it also talks of putting measures in place to safeguard any abuse of the salary of the workers. Right. Of course, Nigerian Labour also says you must pay any working man or woman who has worked for you as a wage due. So what the governors who are defaulting in payments are doing is unconstitutional, it's a violation of their oath of office, and it's actually an impeachable offense, as the case may be. Now, let's put it the other way around. Here we talk so much about states that are not paying. Maybe we should talk of states that are paying. What are they doing in spite of the limitations in revenue And what are they they put in place to make it possible for them to pay? It's because they assign value to labor. It's because they try to live within the rule of law. There's no excuse at all. Wages and salaries of working people should be the first line charge that should be paid as and when due. So there's no need for any excuse at all. And we should not be talking of number here. With a state whole salary is bad enough, but it is worse enough when you are close to 20 states, 22 states. And of course, the one that captures imagination we talk about is mostly monthly pay. If you define pay to include all the emoluments in one form or the other, virtually all the states are defaulting. If you include pensions, claims, if you include the promotion allowances, leave allowances, I think it's not just few number of states. A good number of states, majority of them are defaulting on proper remuneration of their working people. As I've said, it's illegal, it's unconstitutional, and it's unacceptable. And that's why Nigerian Labour Congress has declared strikes in those states. And as far as we are concerned, no governor, just like no employer in the private sector should keep any business, should be in business if you cannot pay your working people. So it's completely unacceptable.
Okay, so you're saying that it is a fault of the state governors that they cannot pay salaries?
Precisely, I listen to your media review.
Why do you say so?
When you talk of what should be the reaction of Mr. and Mrs. In terms of non-payment of salary, it's not a funny affair at all, because workers depend on salary for rent, for food, for school fees of their children, and you deny not just for 1 month, 2 months, even if it is for 1 month, it's completely unacceptable. So you are virtually killing the working people. So what I'm saying, why am I saying is their priority are they go wrong? Again, as I'm talking to you here, most of these governors, and a good number of them very respectable people, they've done well in other areas in their states. Just recently, some of them have just been voted to office. And when they were campaigning, those rallies, those number of people I'm very sure they incur a lot of expenses on them. None of them are defaulted. They pay for those rallies. In all these states, we have not had contractors who have not been paid. So why do you not neglect the most important factor of production, which is your workforce? I think it's a priority they have assigned to their working people, which is completely wrong. Governors that are paying is because they live within the rule of law. They assign priority to their working people, and that's why they are paying. And I think we must tell all these governors to obey the spirit and content of the Constitution, including Nigerian labor laws. And I also want to let you know this. They are not just employers of labor. They are also supposed to enforce laws. Now, if the state government cannot pay, what is the moral obligation to compel private employers who want to live on skilled labor, who will not want to pay salary? I think they must get their priority right. And I want to say this. I recollect yesterday when they out. The new governor of the Bauchi State made that clear. That's Barrister Mohammed Abdullahi Abubakar, who was very, factually critical. In fact, what he was saying was this, that as we are pointing one artistic finger in terms of declining federal allocation, also are directed to us in terms of deficit, corruption, and the more say, must put satellite on our necessities for our government. Many of them executive indulgences of these governments are totally unacceptable. They don't travel commercial flights, which is bad enough. You don't see them for commercial flights. They take private jets. As I'm talking, many of their pension laws that, on the first line charge, they collect millions of naira. Possibly in 3 digits, in pension allowances for governors who are retired, and they pay this to themselves. This is completely unacceptable. So what I'm saying here is that I think we should look at governors who are paying. What are they doing? I also recollect just recently, Kaduna State governor, the new governor elect. As part of the spirit of sacrifice, I'm forfeiting my deputy. And so we're calling on legislators is to free resources that you can meet your primary statutory allocation. I don't know anybody who run businesses,
Some state governors, Mr. Remu, just let me come in here. Some state governors have said, just a moment. Can you hear me?